Hi, everyone. My name is Myekah, Artistic Director of Tarragon Theatre, and I'm joined by...
I am Myekah Payne. I'm the Associate Artistic Director here at Tarragon.
And the almighty knowing Myekah Payne is going to take us through a little tutorial on how to make an application for this year's theater creation recommender grants with Tarragon Theatre. Now, full disclosure, this is my first time interacting with this program, so I'm very grateful to be an example, a little guinea pig to navigate some of our upcoming candidates. So I'm very excited. So I'm going to share my screen, right? And you're going to take it through it.
Yeah, we'll go step by step.
Awesome.
All right. Step one is to log in. Nicely all set up to log in here. All right. So once you hit this wonderful page, we're going to go over to funding opportunities and scroll down. Now, I think there's about 14 going on right now, but we're going to go to the second page. And there we'll see recommender grants for theater creators. Now, if you hit the details tab, this wonderful section here will give you all the information about recommender grants for theater creators. It'll give you the purpose of the program, what the priorities are, what the deadline dates are, just an overarching deadline date process for this program. Lets you know that we can only grant up to $3,000 per project. That's the max amount anybody can ask for this year. So just to keep that in mind. All of the further information you can definitely check out yourself. If you have any issues with the NOVA itself, though, Mike, what you're going to do is you're actually going to talk to Lucy over here. All of the information is inside of the screen. They can help with anything to do with the NOVA granting system. So if you have issues with NOVA or whatever you're putting in there, you're going to contact Lucy, and then she'll have all the answers.
Okay.
So now we're going to go back. We'll go back to the other screen now. Because now we know all of the details about the process, we are going to apply. Well, sort of. So when you start, you're going to go through the eligibility requirements. Just make sure to read all of this information before you confirm the above statements, just so you know what you're signing. And you're going to confirm them, Mike, because we already read them. We're going to apply. Ready?
Because I'm ready.
Yeah.
And I'm still Mike Payette. Yes, that is. I'm going to start an application for me.
Yeah, you are. Okay, excellent.
But I'm sure there's a conflict of interest. I probably shouldn't apply.
Yeah, no, I don't think you should be applying for at least not for us. I feel like that would be the biggest issue there, right?
That's a good point.
So this first screen you're going to come to once you hit that button is the profile. Now, just make sure all of your information is correct, so that when people do give you the money, you get the money, right? You want to make sure it comes to you or whoever it's supposed to go to. So make sure you're confirming all of your personal information. Once you get through that page, I would say to hit the Save Draft button, just so that you know that it's set. I also like to say to hit the Save Draft button after every step of this process, just in case, because you never know. The very next tab, right? Because you don't know. Very next tab is Recommender. So you're going to hit the Recommender. You scroll down, and this lovely page has all of the theaters that are part of this program across Ontario. So this is where you as the artist can decide which theater companies you're deciding to apply for. You can apply up to 5 companies for a max of $3,000 for each one. We personally are going to go to Tarragon. Now, under each theater that is listed, you will see the deadline for their theater recommender grants. Not all of the theaters have the same deadline. Our deadline is December 3rd, but another deadline could be like November 5th, but that's not us. We're December 3rd. So we're going to Tarragon. We're going to scroll back down and we're going to look at the priorities of Tarragon. Every theater will have a list of their priorities. Our priorities are work that investigates who we are within local and global contexts that reflects the richness of our Canadian landscape, embracing a diversity of voices, points of view, and artistic practice. That's what we're focused on here at Tarragon. And that's what we want.
Without a doubt.
So,
exactly.
So the very next tab, which is project information, is when you tell us the title of your work, how much funding you're asking for, the start date of your project, the end date of your project. Now, when you're thinking about how much you're asking for a company, really consider how you're using that money in those funds, Mike. Don't, consider if you're asking for $3,000, where is that money going to go? So we have a sense of it as well,
Okay. Yeah, that's a good call. That's a good note.
Yeah, and so the next button that we go to after we've, again, always hitting save draft after you filled out information, but we're going to head to accessibility fund. This fund is geared towards if you need extra accommodation, if you need just extra for accessibility's sake for the project that you're creating. We want to make sure that everybody has equal opportunity and help where they need it. So that's part of the accessibility fund. So if you need that, request that, advocating if you need it.
Use it. Absolutely. Use this fund. Yes.
Exactly. And so then we have artistic merit. So artistic merit is where you tell us about yourself as an artist, your priorities. That's the first thing, is tell us about yourself or the group that you're working with. That's when you can also tell us about your priorities as an artist, that we can see if your priorities are in line with our priorities, because that will help us to know if this is a project that we want to help fund, want to help move forward. After that, I think the next thing you have is what you're planning to do to achieve the project that you're talking about. So again, when we're talking about the financial amount you're asking for, here's a really good place where you can talk about, this is how we're going to be using the money to achieve the next step, et cetera, et cetera. That's where you can kind of say, I want to use $1,000 for this, or give us a sense, right? And our next tab, because you're just motoring through this application, you know what you want, so you're just going for it. So you're going.
I'm going.
You're ready to give us your support or your samples of work. So when you're looking at your samples of work, for writing specifically, what I'll say is to always choose the strongest area of your piece. That also gives us an overall sense of the story you're trying to tell for the whole piece as well, right? So we want that strong point that also gives us a sense of what this might turn into. And that would be similar for when you're choosing your video clip, as well as if you're choosing an audio clip, which I think they have the ability to. And then what's really lovely as well is that there is a section at the bottom that you can use to describe any of the examples that you've given us. So if you need that extra, just a couple extra words for us to get a sense of what you've given us in terms of audio or video, that's a lovely place where you can put that there as well.
Awesome. And don't forget to include your bios and your resume and CV, right?
Exactly, because just in case we haven't gotten a sense of you up until that point, you then have these lovely classic versions of ways for us to get to know you as well.
Awesome.
And then I think the next two tabs, so demographic information, if I remember correctly, is a voluntary information to self-identify. If you are somebody who feels that you need to self-identify, which will help us assess, etc., please do fill this out. Also, just fill it out if you feel that this is something that you want to be a part of, because I think it is helpful for us to always know these things as well. Again, always hitting save draft. Now, when you get all the way through this and you've been sitting, maybe it didn't take you as fast as it took Mike, because Mike's motoring through. Maybe it took you a little longer and you can't really remember if you've done all of the steps. You can actually hit validate application, which will take time to actually go through the process and tell you if you've missed any steps before hitting that submit button. So that's what that validate application button is for. It's just in case you've missed any steps, you can hit the validate application. It'll tell you what you missed.
Look at all the things I missed. Yes,
Like you have to go back and do all of these things at some point, because it's not going to work out for you otherwise. It's okay. It's okay.
There we go. There we go. Technical. There we go. We're back. I'm going to go back into the thing as you. Yes.
Yeah.
This.
We can go right back there into your draft there, which is very handy.
Yeah, I did that on purpose.
You did, just in case, so we know what happens if that happens. So assuming you've saved everything up until that point, if something like that happens, then everything should still be there. And the last step you're going to go to is your declaration. That's where you put just that final thing in there, your contact information, you acknowledge everything in your application, you make sure everything is correct and ready to go, so you feel confident. And then once you fill that all out, you validate it and everything else, you hit that submit button, and off it goes.
That's so great, Myekah. Thank you. I'm going to stop sharing right now. Thank you for taking us through. I'm sure just like you, we're really excited to see the wealth of applicants that bring forward their art and creativity and who wish to work with us. And so thank you again, Myekah, for taking us along this journey with the OAC. And so remember that our deadline is December 3rd, and that if you have any further questions about Tarragon related to this grant, you can always reach out to Myekah at aad@tarragontheater.com. Good luck, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah,